which is a peace lily. So here's my one, which is looking slightly sad from being neglected a little bit. They always can get slightly dry. Usually you will find nice white flowers on it. Here is what's left. It flowers in the winter, and all you have to do is just snip off these old dead flower heads. And if you have any sad looking leaves, like this one, again, follow it right down to the bottom and snip it off again. But this is a mature peace lily. So again, it's got a similar thing, and I'm going to take it out of its pot. Oops, there we are. And show you the different bits. Now you can do this by hand, and maybe this can be prepared for people then to pot on into smaller pots. But I can see lots of individual plants in here. Now, it sometimes feels quite hard, and when you're doing gardening or plants, you can be quite tough. Mostly they're not going to die, they're not going to disappear. Now you've got to have something that you can cut with to cut through the roots, and you can try and do it by hand. Now this one doesn't want to be particularly separated by hand, but I can give it a hand just by snipping away some of the roots. And pulling on it, there we go. I'm getting some of those ones. There you go. I'm getting my thumbs right in, which really helps separate the roots a lot. You can't quite hear it, but you can kind of hear the roots separating. And I'm putting quite a lot of effort into it. So as I say, this is something you might want to prepare for your clients and the people in your group so that they get a slightly easier way to do it. So I'm just going to snip through some of the roots just so I can, there we go, I can feel one coming. There we go. So here is one of the plants that I can now propagate. It's got roots. That's really important. You can't pull it off without the roots, otherwise you're not going to go anywhere. So I've got one with lots of roots, and I could probably take lots more. I can see lots of individual plants now that I'm breaking it up within it. And I could probably make 5 or 6 separate plants like this one here. What I'm going to do is pop that on into a good size. Now, if there's any odd leaves, pull them off. And I'm going to look for a good size pot to put that in. That's going to be too small. So I need the next size up. And I think probably this may be a little big, but actually the roots are fitting quite well. It's difficult to see, isn't it, in this black pot? I'm going to pot it on just into multi-purpose compost. It doesn't particularly need you to mix in sand or perlite or any other drainage, because spathiphyllum or peace lily like to be slightly more moist than a lot of other plants. So division, and you could do this, as I said, with the spider plant, is a very easy way of producing new plants, because you basically got a plant there with its roots attached. Again, it just needs you to be careful of it, not to put it in bright light once you potted it up. Put it somewhere where it's bright, but not direct sunlight, keeping it reasonably moist. And Bob's your uncle, you've got yourself a new plant. You feed these maybe once a month. And as I said, it will get white flowers in the winter months. That's a photocopy of one that I've just done for you so you can see. Very useful plants, very good for absorbing carbon dioxide and so on in the building. And the only thing you've got to worry about is that they can be poisonous if ingested. In other words, if somebody actually eats a leaf. Now, it may be that you have a client group who you're not sure what they're going to do. It's not poisonous on your hands or anywhere else. So that's fine. So it's a great free way of making from one mature plant, one old plant, you've got lots of different plants. And as I said, just be tough, like I had to with that one. So that's peace lilies.